So I think probably it was different several years ago where I couldn't be as vocal and I had renewed pantyhose all the time. Let's be honest, that was not very myself.
What happened on that red carpet wasn't your average star momented. Was tension dripping in diamonds and flashbulbs. Every tidy glance, every little gesture, screamed secrets and status games that most people totally missed. The cameras didn't just capture. Smileste caught whispers, side eyes, and silent shade that never made it to the headlines. And when you really catch what went down between Meghan Markle and the people around her, it's wild to watch. Once you feel that energy from the night, you'll get exactly why everyone can't stop talking about it. But before we dive into the juicy details, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It literally takes a second and helps more people see what really went down. Oh, and don't skip that like button. It seriously helps more than you think. Now tell me, what's your take on this? What do you think actually happened between Meghan and Emma that night? Was it quiet shade behind perfect smiles? A silent competition for attention? Or maybe just an awkward moment that blew up way too big online? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Read every single one. Now, let's get into what really went down this weekend when Meghan Markle hit that major Hollywood event. Insiders are saying Meghan wasn't even invited to that event in the first place. Can you believe that? Reports claim she pulled a slick, last-minute move and basically showed up like she owned the place, totally unbothered. And get this, it wasn't just any Hollywood get-together. This was a major gala celebrating Black-owned businesses, a respected event that had been running quietly for 6 years. But the second Meghan Markle appeared, boom. Suddenly, everyone was talking about it like it was the place to be. Kinda convenient timing, right? Now, here's where the story starts heating up. The person who supposedly got Meghan through the door, none other than Emma Greta Powerhouse, PR boss, who knows how to control a headline. And if you've been keeping up, you already know these two share some complicated history. They once sat down for a podcast that people online called straight up mortifying. So yeah, that tension was real, and when they met again on that red carpet, you could feel it. If you watch the footage closely, this next part says it all. Emma's clearly trying to keep things polished. It's her event, and she's the one in charge. You can see her subtly positioning Meghan for the perfect shot, giving those calm professional vibes. But Meghan, no, she wasn't playing along. There's this sharp little second where Meghan slightly pulls back from Emma's guiding hand. It's quick, but you see it? And in that instant, Emma's face gives it away, a flash of surprise, maybe even a little irritation. The vibe between them was icy tight, sharp, and packed with quiet rivalry. This wasn't two women hyping each other up. It was a full-on silent standoff under the blinding Hollywood lights. You could feel the energy shifted. It wasn't just tension anymore. It was straight-up competition. Two power players, both used to owning the spotlight, suddenly locked in a quiet battle for control, while the cameras flashed non-stop. Now imagine this showing up at someone else's event, one you weren't even invited to, and somehow managing to steal the spotlight from the actual host. That's a bold move, and it takes serious confidence to pull off. But honestly, it's not that surprising if you followed Meghan's public moments before. There's always that same energy, subtle glances, quiet shade, and that unstoppable drive to be the one everyone's eyes are on. No matter whose event it is, she always finds a way to end up center stage. But if that first red carpet moment made you uncomfortable, just wait, because what happened next turned everything up a notch. As Meghan moved down the carpet, her assistant was right behind her, working double time to keep her look perfect. This poor woman had one mission: make sure Meghan stayed flawless, no matter what. But here's the twist: her dress wasn't exactly doing her any favors. People noticed immediately, and once they started zooming in on the footage, the comments got wild fast. The gown just didn't sit right. It looked loose in some spots, bunched in others, and way off from being perfectly tailored. Some fashion insiders were even whispering that it looked borrowed, or maybe even rented, without proper alterations to fit her body. So there's Meghan, smiling wide for the cameras, totally aware that every lens is locked on her, while her poor assistant is crouched down behind her, desperately trying to fix the train and smooth out every wrinkle. You can literally see the struggle of the assistant, tugging, straightening, adjusting, doing everything to keep Meghan's look flawless. But Meghan's energy, completely different. She's basking in the spotlight, soaking up every flash, while her team scrambles in the background to keep her image picture perfect. The contrast couldn't be more obvious. Photographers start going wild, flashes popping everywhere, and that assistant is still reaching out one last time to fix a bit of loose fabric. Then it happens, The moment that flips everything. Meghan's hand shoots out fast, firm, and far from gentle. She swats the assistant's hand away. In one sharp motion it's quick, but totally visible. And the look on Meghan's face, ice cold for just a second. Like she's silently saying, "You've done enough. Step back." The energy shift is intense-filling even. You can see the assistant freeze, stunned before stepping back fast, clearly embarrassed, and trying not to draw more attention. And all of it's happening right there, in front of the flashing cameras, and a crowd full of people watching every single move. That's public humiliation in real time. Now, the real question is, what did that moment really mean? If someone's bold enough to treat a team member like that in front of cameras, imagine what goes down when no one's watching. That's the thought, making people raise eyebrows everywhere. And let's be real, this isn't the first time Meghan's faced claims like this. Former staff members have spoken up before, saying she could be difficult. And the palace even launched an internal investigation into how she allegedly treated her royal team. But here's the weird part, those results were never made public. Why hide them? What could have been in that report that they didn't want the world to see? That's what's got everyone whispering. And the saddest thing, that poor assistant was literally just doing her job. She was trying to keep Meghan flawless, preventing a wardrobe slip-up, and instead ended up getting publicly brushed off for it. That quick moment spoke louder than any headline ever could. That assistant's entire mission was to make shine bot. Meghan clearly didn't want anyone else even close to her spotlight. It felt like she wanted every flash, every frame, all to herself. Anyone else stepping in, even just to help, looked like an interruption she couldn't tolerate. That solo shine seemed non-negotiable, no distractions allowed. And here's where things get even more revealing. Body language experts have actually broken down that exact second frame by frame, and their take is wild. They say when someone's genuinely confident, they don't react with that kind of cold, dismissive move. That type of sharp rejection doesn't show strength, it shows something deeper hiding underneath. Swatting someone away in public usually comes from insecurity, from someone who feels the need to control every single detail, just to stay on top. And speaking of control, let's not forget what this whole event was really supposed to be about. It wasn't meant to be a celebrity power play. It was a gala honoring Black-owned businesses, celebrating empowerment, success, and real community growth. That's a beautiful machine, no question about it. Supporting small business owners, especially from underrepresented communities, truly matters and deserves respect. But here's the part that got people talking, and fast. Meghan showed up presenting herself as a voice for diversity, equality, and inclusion, the face of empowerment for all. Yet when people started taking a closer look at her own organization, Arkwell, the story didn't quite match the message. According to reports, the staff there is mostly white, with barely any visible diversity, and that's got people online raising question. For someone so vocal about representation, that kind of setup feels like a contradiction, and it's something the internet hasn't stopped dissecting. If you're going to stand front and center preaching equality, shouldn't your own team reflect the same values you're speaking about so passionately? It's a fair question, and one that keeps coming up. But let's be real, there's nothing wrong with hiring qualified people from any background. That's how it should be, skill and talent first. Still, when your public image is all about inclusivity, people expect to see that message in action. But here's the real problem. You can't play both sides of the fence. You can't walk into a gala celebrating Black-owned businesses, spotlight your biracial background when it fits the moment, and then run an organization that doesn't seem to reflect those same values. That's not advocacy. That's straight up opportunism. And honestly, this isn't the first time people have called her out for that pattern. Plenty of observers have noticed how Meghan tends to shift parts of her identity, depending on what benefits her at the time. When it's helpful to highlight her biracial roots, she's front and center with it, but when it's not, that part seems to quietly fade into the background. And when you look at the people she keeps around her, that pattern becomes even clearer. Most of her closest friends, white. The men she's dated and married, also white. And reportedly, most of the people she hires fall into that same category too. Yet when the cameras are flashing and the event's focused on diversity or inclusion, she suddenly steps into the role of activist and symbol of representation. That constant switch-up is what's got everyone buzzing. And to be fair, no one's saying she shouldn't embrace every part of who she is. Everyone has the right to define their own identity and connect with their heritage in their own way. But the key here, the word everyone, keeps coming back to is authenticity. If your public image doesn't match your private choices, if your words don't line up with your actions, people will notice. When something feels staged instead of real, the world sees right through it. And then came the dress. Fashion watchers couldn't stop talking the moment Meghan stepped out. Instantly, comparisons started flinch, especially to Vanessa Hudgens, who wore a nearly identical style at the Oscars. But here's the catch: Vanessa's version looked flawless. Every inch tailored, every seam perfect, pure elegance that screamed luxury and expert styling. Now Meghan's take on that same look. It didn't quite hit the mark. Critics joked it looked like she grabbed it straight off a rack, or borrowed it last minute, without a proper fitting. One fashion critic even threw shade, saying, "Seriously, how expensive is a tailor?" And that comment hit hard. Because let's be honest, Meghan's got access to the best of the best. Top stylists, high-end designers, elite glam squats, everything. So people can't help but ask, why does she keep showing up at major events looking like the prep stopped halfway? Was it carelessness? Personal taste? Or does she just not notice when the details are off? Whatever the reason, people definitely noticed, and then came the photos. Once shots from inside the event hit the internet, fans and fashion blogs started spotting something strange. Some images looked too perfectious, softened, lighting off. Backgrounds blurred in weird ways. One photo, in particular, had everyone talking. Meghan looked almost superimposed into the frame, while the person next to her was oddly blurred out. Sure, Hollywood edits photos all the time, but this wasn't the usual light. Retouch and it looked heavy-handed, and that made people ask, was someone trying too hard to create the perfect image? Normally, professional event photos are smooth and clean, but these ones looked obvious, like overdone edits that came off a little desperate. And just when everyone thought the drama ended there, another twist hit. While Meghan was posing on that glitzy red carpet in Hollywood, Prince Harry was across the world, standing in a London courtroom, going head-to-head with the press in his case against the Daily Mail. And what did he tell the judge? That the media has made Meghan's life miserable, that the constant spotlight has been unbearable for her. Harry described a woman crushed by the spotlight, drowning in constant media pressure. But then, you watch that red carpet footage and tell me, does Meghan really look miserable? Because what you actually see is someone glowing under the cameras. The second those flashes go off, her whole face lights up. Every move, every pose, every smile screams confidential, like she's feeding off the attention. That's the contradiction people can't stop talking about. Meghan doesn't seem to hide from the spotlight, she thrives in it. You can see it so clearly, the photographers shouting her name, lights flashing from every direction, and that's when she looks completely at ease, totally in her element. So when Harry tells the court that the media has made her life unbearable, people can't help but raise eyebrows, because the footage shows something totally different. Meghan's not avoiding the camera, she's embracing them. Every look, every moment says she wants to be there. She's not retreating from public life at all, she's stepping right back into it, full force, showing up at events she wasn't even invited to. That's not avoidance, that's pure strategy. And this matters because it shows a bigger pattern that's getting harder to ignore. Think about it. Prince Harry flipped his entire life upside down for Meghan. He gave up his royal duties, left his home country, distanced himself from his own family, and started over all because the story was that Meghan couldn't handle the pressure or the brutal spotlight. But here's the question everyone's asking: if that's true, then why does she keep walking straight back into that same spotlight? Why does she seem to crave the attention they once said was destroying her? And now comes the latest twist, what people online are calling the white chocolate situation. It's the perfect example of how Meghan knows how to play the publicity game. She's been promoting her lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, trying to build buzz around her products. But one item, the white chocolate bar, reportedly isn't selling well at all. So what's her next move? She brings Harry into it. They film this cute little couple promo. But when you really watch it, it's crystal clear Meghan's running the show. She makes sure to say white chocolate over and over, loud enough for everyone to hear, not asking Harry what he wants, but telling him and the audience exactly what he's getting: white chocolate. It's marketing dressed up as a sweet couple moment, but anyone watching could see right through it. Harry just stands there holding the chocolate, smiling awkwardly, not even taking a bite, and people noticed if it was really that good. Wouldn't he at least try it? The whole thing felt more like a sales pitch than a romantic clip, leaving everyone wondering who's really calling the shots in that video. Hemp and flower sprinkles with white chocolate? Come on, that sounds like something dreamed up by someone trying way too hard to sound fancy. It's giving Pinterest experiment, not high-end lifestyle brand. But even that's not the biggest takeaway here. The real story is what this moment says about Harry's role in Meghan's growing business empire. At this point, he's starting to look less like a partner and more like a prop. His biggest value to the brand, and let's be honest, to any of their venture comes down to one thing: that royal title. That's the hook, the selling point, the reason people still pay attention, Because if you strip away the word prince, what's really left? A former actress whose Hollywood career never quite took off. And a man raised in an institution that never prepared him for real-world hustle, trying to sell pricey lifestyle products that barely anyone's buying. It's like they've built their whole empire on the same system they claim to escape is still cashing in on the crown, while taking shots at it every chance they get. And that's exactly where the hypocrisy hits hardest. They want the perks, the royal glow, the VIP treatment, the endless headlines, but none of the responsibility that comes with it. They talk about privacy and independence, yet everything they do screams publicity and privilege. They walked away from royal life to find freedom, but still expect the world to treat them like royalty, while they enjoy the California dream. They want the crowns without the duties, the prestige without the pressure, and the contradiction is why people just can't stop talking about them. While Meghan was soaking up red carpet attention, the real royals were out handling serious business. Prince William had just landed in Riyadh for a major diplomatic visit to Saudi Arabia, a glitzy gala, but real political work. He spent hours in talks with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, handling international issues with real impact, but even that high-stakes trip was nearly buried under the chaos of the latest Prince Andrew scandal tied to the Epstein files. And that's where the contrast hits. William and Catherine quietly released a respectful, steady statement, focused on global matters. While Meghan and Harry kept chasing headlines back in Hollywood, they expressed deep concern over the new revelations and sent sympathy to the victims. No drama, no spotlight chasing, just pure dignity. Now compare that to how Meghan handles controversy. Wherever her name's even mentioned, it somehow loops back to her. Every issue turns into another story about how she's been wronged, attacked, or misunderstood. Even when something has absolutely nothing to do with her, she still finds a way to slide into the spotlight and make herself part of the narrative. It's like she has to be at the center of every story, no matter what the topic is. Meanwhile, the Prince Andrew situation isn't some petty tabloid rumor, it's serious and potentially criminal. Newly surfaced documents reportedly show Andrew forwarding confidential government information directly to Jeffrey Epstein. Police are now reviewing the materials and weighing whether to open a full investigation. That's a royal crisis that demands real accountability and integrity. Moments like this make the contrast impossible to ignore. On one side, you've got the working royals dealing with weighty, real-world issues, and, on the other, Meghan turning every red carpet and headline into her own stage. And honestly, we're all part of it too. Every view, every click, every scroll through the footage keeps the spectacle alive. It's wild when you think about it. The more people criticize Meghan, the bigger she gets. It's like this strange loop where everyone knows it's messy, but no one can look away. And trust me, this story, it's nowhere near over. There are more events coming, more red carpets, more photo ops, and you can bet more insiders will start talking, ready to spill what really went down behind the scenes. The tension, the drama, the contradictions, they're not fading anytime soon. The only real question now is whether this will ever spark actual change, or if we're all stuck in the same endless cycle of fame, scrutiny, and spin. But here's why it all matters. Moments like these pull back the curtain on what's real versus what's just for show. They reveal who people truly are when the cameras are rolling, and when they think no one's watching.